In this video, I'll be talking about gonadotropins, more specifically, the gonadotropins in the ovary. Okay, so we're going to be looking at what the gonadotropin does when it gets to the ovary. So let's look at the name gonadotropin. These are hormones that are secreted by the pituitary gland, more precisely the anterior part of the pituitary gland. Like the name implied, tropins. That means they are hormones that induce the production of another hormone. So this hormone travels to different glands, but specifically in this case, we are talking about the gonad. So the gland involved here is the gonad. So it travels to the gonad to tell it to produce certain hormones. All right. So the gonadotropins are divided into two. We have the follicle stimulating hormones, follicle stimulating hormones, FSH, and the luteinizing hormone, LH. Now, these two hormones carry out different function inside the ovary. So let's assume this is the ovary. Let's assume this is the ovary. Remember, production of egg begins from the synthesis of primordial oocytes, right? So these are the primordial oocytes. These oocytes mature to form the primary oocyte. The primary follicle, the primordial oocyte mature to form the primary follicle. At this stage, this egg is dormant until the follicle stimulating hormone comes down to stimulate this egg to produce follicles, to produce cells that will guard it. So this cell will develop to form the secondary follicle with cells around it. And the function of this cell is to protect the egg. So this is the secondary follicle. At this stage, a particular hormone is produced. When the follicles, when the cells are formed, when the cells are formed, this follicle begin to produce hormones. And one of the hormones it produces is estrogen. Estrogen. Okay. Now, from this stage, it moves to form a thicker follicle. So from the secondary oocyte, it grows to the Graafian follicle. Now the Graafian follicle has more protection. So the cells becomes thick. Cells becomes thick, thicker than that of the secondary follicle. Okay. So this is what we call the Graafian follicle. The Graafian follicle. Now, at this stage, something else happens. The luteinizing hormone comes in here. So the luteinizing hormone comes to the Graafian follicle and stimulates ovulation. That is the function of the luteinizing hormone. It helps this Graafian follicle to release the egg, which we call ovulation. So when this releases the egg passes into the fimbriae of the fallopian tube. Now, when the egg passes in the fimbriae of the fallopian tube, this follicle remains. This follicle remains like an empty follicle, and this is what we refer to as the corpus luteum. The corpus luteum. All right. Now, this follicle now produces another type of hormone. That hormone now is called progesterone. Now, the estrogen and the progesterone perform similar function. And what is their function? Is to prepare the endometrial wall. These hormones goes down to the uterine wall and begins to prepare, thickening the wall lining, preparing it to receive the zygote. So this is what the gonadotropins do in the ovary. Follicle stimulating hormones stimulate the production of follicle, while luteinizing hormones stimulate ovulation as the release of the egg. So this is what happens in the ovary. This is what the gonadotropin does in the ovary. Now looking at the gonadotropin in the testes, let's assume this is the seminiferous tubule where the sperm cells are being produced. We have some cells that can be found inside the tubules. Now these cells are referred to as the Sertoli cells. Sertoli cells. Okay? And we have another type of cell that sits right outside the tubule. And these cells are referred to as Leydig cell. Leydig cells. Right? Now let's see the function of the hormones, the follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone in the production of sperm cells. The follicle stimulating hormones stimulate the Sertoli cells. What the follicle stimulating hormone does in the testes is that it stimulates the Sertoli cells to produce what we know as ABP. And this ABP is androgen bonding protein. Androgen bonding protein. Meanwhile, the luteinizing hormone stimulates the Leydig cells to produce testosterone. Testosterone. The Leydig cell is stimulated by the luteinizing hormone to produce testosterone. The follicle stimulating hormone stimulates the Sertoli cells to produce the androgen bonding protein. Now, the testosterone and the androgen bonding protein bond together to produce the sperm cell. So that's the function of gonadotropins in the testes. Right? So thank you very much. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe.